Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the After School Club. I'm joined by my
The
friend
fuck, yo?
and co-host. Bro, I almost messed up that intro like this. I was this close to messing up that intro. I
I
was
mean,
playing
you're
the
good
count.
right
I
now,
was playing the
but
countdown. I didn't notice I didn't hit the go live button.
Well, I
Anyway,
was like, what the
another
fuck are
episode
we
of
doing?
After
Like, what
School
the fuck
Club.
is going on here?
What the hell are you doing? Anyways, another episode of
got
After School
brain.
Club, ladies and gentlemen. Happy to have everybody back together. I'm joined by my best bud, Lex, and I'm joined by my good friend, Mr. Ghostface. Can we use your name?
yeah, of course. I just like to. It's just something.
Okay. Just making sure we get the
I love
privilege. Or whatever.
Ghostface.
Mr.
I get
Jordan
Halloween.
Santa Gana is
San-
with us today. Santa Gana.
Ghostface? Ghostface the
Love
killer or
Ghostface.
Ghostface the rapper?
The killer.
Okay, got you.
Not to get rid of not to spoil a twist for the eventual new Scream film, but I am the killer of the next one.
And now we have a new challenger, which seems to be having internet issues because I'm gonna bring you in. You're very close to the camera, my friend. I know you can hear me. Let's do it anyway, Mr. Alejandro Orengo. Can you hear us? Ladies and gentlemen. Surprise, surprise. He's back in Puerto Rico. All right, guys. You know the deal. We run through basically what you guys have seen during the week, how you guys have been doing. So I'll start with you guys and we'll go around. Since Nick seems to be having a little bit of delay.
So I'll go while Nick fixes his thing.
Yeah, while Nick fixes his thing.
I did all the Saw movies, which was a lot of fun.
You went through every single one of them?
Yes, sir. You can blame Hennessy Soto. Because
Okay.
I was like, yo vi la segunda y le dije, mira, estoy bien. Yo puedo hablar español, ¿verdad?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, y le como que
Spanglish podcast.
estoy bien, no quiero ver más. Y el cabrón me mandó un mensaje tan like this fucking long. It's like you have to continue the Saw films. And when you watch Saw 3, you gotta watch unrated, Saw 4 unrated, but Saw 5 theatrical, Saw 6. Yeah, como que like all these instructions of what I had to do, and like if he
With a
loves
whiteboard
it,
with red yarn everywhere.
exactly. So I was like, I might as well. And they're terrible, and I loved every second of them. I was just like, this is in the best way possible. Like, this is the worst movie I've ever seen, and I love it. Like, it's not. It's just so campy on purpose. I loved that. I loved that.
Definitely. Even I remember watching like part 2. After watching the first one, I saw part 2 and I was like, even though it does push you to like the squeamish border in some parts, because that will forever be etched into my brain. Throwing that chick into that hole of syringes and having her search for the keys, I was like, oh my god.
The one that gets me still is the furnace, because he's got such a slow death that he just gets cooked alive and then burned. That's no thank you, bro. That's awful.
One of them had a victim where I was like, why is this guy even here? Like he lost his kid. Like what?
I know the third one. It's so
third
mean.
one is it the third one? Yeah,
Like learn your lesson to let go of your kid by murder.
What is that?
This fucking kid got killed. Give him a
Like
break.
the one with Chaz from Linkin Park.
Saw 7 3D.
Yeah,
the
that was like
fight
one of the
after.
later ones.
Yeah, when his skin is stuck, he's like, ah.
He's glued to a seat.
Yeah, it's glued to his seat, so he's got to rip his skin off.
Yeah, he gets like stuck to the car and shit. Yeah.
The gross.
Christ.
But the one where he lost his kid, it was like Jigsaw was just like, you lost your kid.
Being a dick.
Get over it.
También en la primera, they revealed, I think, in Jigsaw or Saw 3D, I think Saw 3D, that was like El Tipo that was in the barbed wire trap was there because he tried to kill himself. And it's like, oh, so you're gonna punish this guy. I just didn't make that one. That one I thought was too mean. I was like, you're punishing this guy for like mental health issues. Like, put him somewhere where he can get help. You know.
Yeah, it's been that last one that came out was very, very good. I do believe they're not done. Mr. Alejandro Orengo again. Welcome back. I hope you don't leave again.
No, I'm good. Don't worry.
Okay, all right. We were just catching up on what we've been doing. We started with Jordan. Jordan has been watching all these Saw movies because he's a masochist, not because of he wants the people get hurt, but he likes to get hurt himself.
Exactly.
Watching, all seven, 8, 7,
10, my friend.
10. Oh, that's right. Oh, Saw X. Yes, exactly. So he's all 10 movies, and he's losing humanity as we speak.
Anoche, yo vi Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the remake, the Platinum Dunes remake, and it's really funny to watch how the coverage that they get in the movie is like Michael Bay coverage, even though he produced it, but it's Michael Bay coverage, but with the wrong lenses. And it's just really funny to watch. Like a guy will look out the window, and then you just have this massive shaft of light hitting his left eye, going through the glasses and just coming out in his eye. I'm like, yeah, that's a Michael Bay shot. And there's one like a woman shoots herself in the van, and the camera pulls back as everyone's going like, and it pulls back through the hole in her head, and then her head falls back, and it's like, yeah, that's very clearly a Michael Bay shot.
Murder porn.
So watch it.
Huh?
2003.
Which one is that one? Not the last 2003.
No, 2003 with Jessica Biel.
Yeah, you probably saw it in theaters.
Yeah.
Jessica Biel.
You saw that one, Nick? I think I recall like us catching that one like literally on the couch.
Yeah, we definitely saw that.
There's a shot that was the most Michael Bay shit I've ever seen, where it's we're in a dark house in a hallway, and Jessica Biel steps into frame, and she's got two lights, one that lights up her boobs, and then one that lights up her vagina, and it was just two lights that she stepped into frame and stands there for like 5 seconds, and then keeps walking. I was like, wow, you guys really did that. You really set that up.
When everybody was dying to turn Jessica Biel into a sex symbol.
But it's a movie where people's like legs are getting cut up. Like, I don't need to see that. Like let's get to the legs getting cut up. I don't need people being sexy. That's not why I'm here.
They're being cut by the light. It's a different type of cutting.
Yeah. Oh my God, go fuck yourself.
All right, so we caught up with Jordan. What he's been doing, he's been exposing himself to masochists.
To really bad
movies and also doing it to himself. Lex, I'm gonna give you like a 3-second delay. What you've been doing?
Yeah. All right. So I saw this week. I got to see Loki episode 2. I saw The Nun 2.
That's how bad it was.
I saw the first 2 episodes of is on Hulu and Disney Plus. I got to see that the Fall of the House of Usher on Netflix, and I saw this show that's based. I guess it's more based on the Danish version of the book of Let the Right One In. I remember me and Migs went to go see that movie with Chloe Moretz, the American version. Well, they had a show. I think it came out maybe last year on Showtime and shit. It was canceled, but I don't think it was canceled due to the actual quality of the show. From what I read, they try to do some shit of taking like shows from Showtime and put them on Paramount Plus. Some shit like that, and a couple of the shows ended up getting axed. But I thought it was a quality fucking show. I thought it was a really cool, at least that first season, I thought was pretty cool. It follows a lot of the shit that happens in the first movie about the father and his kid. It goes a little bit more deeper into the sacrifices that the father has to make because his daughter's a vampire. He doesn't want his daughter to kill or, have first bite. So he ends up killing people. He ends up murking people and, fucking taking the blood, taking it to her so she could drink, and the revolú of him looking for a cure while trying to feed her. I thought it was a really cool show. I thought it was really, really dope. It sucks that it got canceled because it ended up on a fucking cliffhanger.
Question. Is it still the same setting? Is it still like, because it was like Britain or something like that, right? It was like Ireland. It was somewhere in Europe in the movie.
No, when we saw it, it was like in Canada or some shit. It was like a snowy.
I was in Canada
when we saw it.
I didn't hear anybody say the boot.
Read that shit. It was like some snowy town. I know it wasn't.
It was a snowy town. It was Canada. All right. It could have been like the Netherlands. It could have been like
some Slavic. I can tell you right now, it wasn't England. Bro, it wasn't nothing. Bro, like the fucking kid, the kid in that movie, I think the bully is the kid from 13 Reasons Why. It's fucking Chloe Moretz. the main kid, I think he was in that movie, The Power of the Dog, where Benedict Cumberbatch.
The really skinny kid that's got
But
face
it
like
wasn't.
that.
Yeah, it wasn't a European movie, bro. I mean, I think the original was like a Danish movie, but the version that we saw, I think
I'm trying to see. It was,
like
2008 is the original, right?
They don't specify.
2008 is the original one, and the 2008 one is in Stockholm. But I don't think that was the one we saw. We saw the
Let Me In.
That's what I'm saying. It's like that Danish one.
No, Let Me In.
We saw the American remake. The one, the show.
Smith.
It is.
Wait, Matt Reeves directed this.
Yeah.
Matt Reeves directed it.
It was. But
bro,
this one is
in New
New
Mexico. It's in New Mexico.
The snowy town of New Mexico.
I didn't know that it fucking snowed in New Mexico, bro.
Wait, well, hold on. So
there's a lot of fucking snow. I remember snow.
Yes, in Los Alamos, New Mexico. Apparently, it snows there.
Yeah, it snows there. I mean, we saw.
Apparently, it snows in New Mexico, bro. You learn shit every fucking day here on the podcast. Bro.
I did not know that.
There? It snows there.
Ladies and gentlemen, it snows in Los Alamos, New Mexico.
Bro. It snows in New Mexico. I didn't know that shit. There you go. That's your moment.
What is Los Alamos more famous for snow or the Trinity test?
I don't know what the Trinity Fest is, but I have a feeling I have a feeling it's something disgusting that'll mess with the algorithm. So we're not gonna go deep into that.
Wait, what? You don't know what the Trinity test is?
The Trinity test. I understood the Trinity Fest. I'm like, I don't know what that is. I don't want to dive into that because I feel like it's gonna mess with the algorithm, right?
No, Trinity test.
Oh, okay.
It was in a scene from a movie that made $950 million.
Yeah.
I know, right?
That never happened. Okay. All right, so we caught up with you.
But
go ahead. Keep going.
The show is pretty good. It doesn't follow the movie.
Okay.
Okay.
What about the convincing, the actress, the one playing the vampire?
She's good. I've never seen her in anything else. She's I've never seen her in any other thing. I think I've seen her. I think she was on like some reality, like America's Got Talent or some shit like that. I know the father. I want to say that
Damian
is an American. I know the father's a Mexican actor.
Yeah, Damian Bichir. Yeah, he's good.
I've seen the father in plenty of movies. The father I've seen in plenty of movies. It has Nick Stahl. Nick Stahl off the bat, I remember him from this movie that came out way back called Disturbing Behavior, where it's with it's like one of those teenage movies that has Katie Holmes. It has the guy that plays Cyclops in the original X-Men movies. I forgot his name.
He was also John Connor in T3.
But Nick Stahl, exactly, he was in that shit. But yeah, that movie, yeah, he's in it. He's he has a prominent role. He has a prominent role in that movie. The dude got big. You can tell. I was like, shit. The last time I seen this guy, he looked mad young. You be like, holy shit. But he got big. He looked good. I think I'm not sure. I think Meryl Streep's daughter is in this movie. I'm not 100% sure. I saw her and I was like, shit. She looks like Meryl Streep. And aside from that, there's not like any huge name.
We have a friend in common that knows her on a personal level.
Yeah. I don't know if we want to let that out. You know, this is a fucking podcast right now. I'm going to be grateful about that information.
Never mind, moving on.
Yeah, but the show was good. The show's good. It was pretty dope. They expanded. I found some things funny, like I used to like the lore of vampirism and shit. The way like it kind of feels weird because they have the rule like, okay, you can't go into a house if you're not invited, and they show her go into her old house and she starts bleeding from like the eyes and like it's really grotesque and shit. They have the sunlight thing.
That was in the Chloe Moretz movie.
Yeah, I didn't remember that shit. I don't remember like the
she enters
going.
I think
like
there's something I think that happens with the kid, and she comes into the house to protect him, and then all of a sudden she starts bleeding from everywhere or whatever, and it's because she was never invited into the house.
They have shit like that. That's what you call, like, a part of the vampire lore and shit. There was things where I was getting a little confused about. I had to put some caco into that shit because obviously she's like a 12-year-old girl, but she's been a 12-year-old girl for like 10 years. So in my mind, I was like, okay, is she a 20-year-old woman trapped in a 12-year-old girl's body, like Christian Dunst in Interview with the Vampire, where so many years pass, she's stuck in that little girl's body, but she's a grown-ass woman with grown-ass woman appetites. In this one, there's a 12-year-old girl and there's like a 15-year-old boy, and they're both vampires and shit, and 10 years have passed, and they kind of seem like their brain hasn't expanded. Like they
talk like children.
Only have stood that age in their body, but they stood that age in their mind. They're stuck not only in that age physically, but also mentally. And so I'm looking at the show and I'm like, I don't know how to feel about this, because she starts getting a crush on this little 12-year-old boy. And she starts like falling in love with this 12-year-old boy. And I was like, this bitch kind of look like a pedo. I was like, this shit look a little pedophile-ish. But as you start seeing the characters, she really is like a 12-year-old girl. And then the 15-year-old kid, he doesn't act like a 25-year-old man. Like when he gets talked to, he responds like how a teenager would respond. So there were things like that I was like, okay, well, this is interesting. I was like, I already had in my mind that and he's gonna act like a grown ass man. That doesn't happen. And so when she's confronted with certain acts of violence or aggression, she acts like a child. Which in my mind, I was like, when it gets to the nitty gritty, she's just gonna be this brutal killer. She's gonna be like kind of like Chloe Moretz had like a brutality to her in that movie. She kind of looked, like aggressive.
You know what I'm thinking about now? You know what I'm thinking about now? I think when we saw that movie, we might have interpreted it like that was her dad protecting her, but now looking back, I think I recall it like that was actually her lover. Like she fell in love with a kid the same age as the kid that she likes in the movie, and then he grew older, but she stood younger. So he does everything to protect her because he loves her or whatever. And that's kind of like the cycle of like now she likes this kid. She likes, because I don't think it was her. I don't know why I have a feeling though. Looking back on it, I don't think the way that guy was reacting towards Chloe Moretz's character was her daughter. It was his daughter.
Yeah,
I think he was killing for the sake of protecting his lover or whatever. That she's stuck in like this form of a child. Gotta watch that movie again. Gotta see.
There's things in this show, like it sets the tone, like in the very first episode, and I was like, I wonder if maybe people couldn't follow or people didn't get into it because they couldn't root for the main character, especially in America, where you have all right, for instance, you have this Mexican guy where he's the father, right? And he moves, he's traveling. They don't show it, but he says that he's been traveling from state to state, to country looking for this cure in the passing of these 10 years. He ends up going to New York on a hunch that there's like a vampire killing people and shit. So he ends up moving next to this single mother. There's this black lady where she has a son, and they show glimpses of the father who's like a recovering drug addict and shit. And so by the time the father's introduced, the father is really trying to get into his son's life. Obviously, he knows that he's fucked up, but he has this chip that he's been like 3 months in Narcotics Anonymous and shit. So you kind of start getting the glimpse, like the mother's a little standoffish because she's been having to deal with him, but he's trying to do something. He's trying to come back into his son's life and shit. As that first episode goes on, you find out that he's not doing drugs, but he has he's selling a very specific drug, and it's kind of like the vampire formula. Like there's this drug that turns you or gives you the powers of a vampire for like, I guess, a day or some shit like that. And so the Mexican, the father, the main character, he finds out about it. He finds out like, oh shit, maybe this is a clue. Maybe if I follow him, I can find out who's selling this, and maybe I can get more information on other vampires. So he grabs the guy, he knocks him unconscious. He fucking puts a mask over his face. When the guy wakes up, he's tied to a chair and shit, and he's questioning him. He's like, "Yo, where did you get this drug? Who supplies this? What do you know about this?" And so while he's doing that, the guy really doesn't know. Like, he doesn't know shit. He's not even a middleman. He gets a phone call. They give him the drug. He goes to a spot and he gives the drug to somebody else. So he really doesn't know shit about it. But you see, and I'm thinking,
I want to let you know, Orengo's really enthralled in this pitch for what the show is. He's very, very much super hyped.
The problem is that it's one season and it led to the cliffhanger. How can I be excited? It's hard.
Maybe you can see what visually it looks like, how it was shot.
True.
It's horrible.
The director.
It's one of the worst.
You gotta pitch the art form to him. What the heck? Like,
bro. It's not the worst cliffhanger, because I think Miguel knows the Black Donnelly's the worst fucking cliffhanger, bro. The worst fucking ending for a season 1 fucking show. But
for that
let's not even talk about that, right?
I mean, so to be honest, we know what the worst thing is. It's The Sopranos.
You outed, bro. You outed. It's all right. So check it. What happens is the end of that first episode, you have the main character, and you have this man that, as the show been going on, you haven't got like a real cariño towards him. But you see that he's trying to he's on the right path. He's trying to become somebody for his son. And so, out of nowhere, the guy just takes the knife and just fucking slits this guy's throat, pulls him backwards, and starts draining him. And for me, it was such a shocking moment. And it's like, like, for me, I'm already that type of guy. That like, I gotta save my daughter. You gotta go, bro. It is what it is. But I'm imagining that a lot of other people, it'll be very hard. It's like how it's funny how in the first season of Game of Thrones, everybody hated Jaime Lannister, and then by the time the fucking show ended, we just all forgot that he just fucking was just banging the fuck out of his sister and just threw Bran out of a fucking window.
We forgot.
Everybody just forgot about that.
We forgot he was capable of child murder. Like, just like by the end, he was
nobody remembers that shit.
He has the wooden hand now, though. Like
the fucking wooden hand, bro.
Push the kid out a window. It's like, but he's handy capable now. Like,
bro, it's like that. It's like, I wonder for the general public if it was just hard to root for this guy that literally just murdered this really innocent guy that he didn't do shit. He had nothing to do with it. He's trying to get his life on track. You see in the upcoming episodes the effect that has on this little boy, that he's like, hey, Dad, are you gonna come to my magic show? And the dad he's not answering him, and he's telling his mother, why doesn't Dad want to talk to me? Does Dad not love me? And all of this, you see that the fucking next door neighbor is the one that killed him and shit. So I wonder if that had any type of effect as far as general audiences goes of watching that show, because I was like, oh, that's a hard thing to pull back from.
Mm-hmm.
To end up rooting for that guy, not everybody's gonna be able to root for him.
I wonder.
But there's a lot of themes in that show that I thought was really cool.
I haven't read the book. But going back to Game of Thrones, I wonder if George R. R. Martin, if Jaime Lannister is the same way he is in the show, I wonder if George R. R. Martin was literally writing him and I'm gonna do the mind bang of a century, bro. But they're gonna hate this guy in the beginning, and by the end, they're gonna start this is gonna be wonderful. There's somebody challenged them, make me love a hateful character. Anyways,
bro, we could go on Game of Thrones all day.
Besides ironing your hair, what have you been to?
I just got back from New York. I was there for 2 weeks. I covered the New York Film Festival. I saw 8 movies. I wanted to see more, but I got in there late because the festival starts for the general public on September 29th, but you get like a week before where you get to see most of the movies are going to be shown in the festival. But I didn't get a chance to like go before, so I went basically to see what's considered the opening night, the centerpiece, and the closing night movies. All those movies that were going to be shown that are kind of more exclusive to the festival. Those are the ones I got to see. So stuff like the Boy and the Heron, Poor Things. Those are things I couldn't get a chance to see. Actually, the last day of the festival, like today, I think, or yesterday, they showed the Killer, which is the David Fincher movie. I also didn't get a chance to see it, but hopefully I'll get to see them soon because I think they're coming out on Netflix, for example. So it'll be cool. What I did get to see, I got to see Maestro. I got to see Priscilla. I got to see All of Us Strangers. I got to see Agro Drift. I got to see a Ferrari. I got to see Ferrari. I got to see the Zone of Interest, and I saw um, Perfect Days. I think those are the 8 movies I saw.
Are
I don't
you
know
allowed
what
to
I
speak
talked about
about
last
any of
time.
these?
Yeah, yeah, those movies have been released in other festivals. There's nothing there's
Okay.
an exclusive here. So I can talk about anything you want me to talk about.
Give me a quick review on how you feel about Ferrari.
Ferrari. I think people maybe like it, but I didn't like it. I think
Surprise, surprise.
I think although the accent that my that Am Driver does is not the worst, it's a
As bad
little
as Gucci?
funny.
It's as
It's
bad
not
as
as bad as Gucci, but it's not
okay.
like it's amazing either. It's still kind of unintentionally funny sometimes. Uh like Penelope Cruz does like the very scorned woman because I didn't know the history. So my understanding is that Maria Ferrari and Enzio Ferrari they kind of had a falling out with their marriage, and towards the end it was like very bitter, very toxic. And you kind of explore that. So this movie, and I noticed this is a trend for some of the movies this year. The biopics weren't like the cookie cutter Wikipedia article biopics, like going down by the list of the stuff they did. They kind of all take the approach of like let's concentrate on either an event or some specific moments of the people's lives, but center them around the relationship and the marriage angle that they had with their significant other. So the case with Priscilla, Maestro, and Ferrari, they all angle it of like, let's talk about these characters, these people that are very known in pop culture, um, but use it in the lens of exploring their relationship with their significant other. So in the case of Ferrari, it was mostly about exploring the kind of starting of the downfall. I think it was in the late 70s of the brand of Ferrari, and while that was happening, you also see basically the rupture of Maria and Enzio because, sort of spoilers, he was cheating on her with someone else. So you kind of see how they're kind of dealing with that.
So this whole movie isn't about cars, it's about a love story?
So it kind of dabbles in the cars because he's trying to recoup the name, the brand. So he starts building these new cars because there's a Grand Prix that's coming up at the end of the movie that they're kind of prepping for. You kind of see a little bit of the process, and you kind of see into the mind of how Ferrari kind of conceptualize the car and kind of how designs certain pieces and things for the car to be as best as it can be and as lean and lightweight as it can be, so it can be faster for the race. So you get a little bit of sense of that, but the bulk of the movie is still mostly the marriage between the two of them and the
Okay.
rupture. That's where the kind of the emotional angle comes into it. The problem is there's 3 factors. The first factor is the story is not as engaging as it thinks it is. There's some element of like self importance that you feel with the music, but it's just not there. To the point where it's almost kind of like very comical and almost like parody levels. It's just I don't want to say Dewey Cox, but it almost feels like it's giving me
What?
Dewey Cox vibes. Yes,
Wow, bro.
it's almost getting
Serious?
to that level.
That's a little bit
It almost
dang.
gets to
That's
that level,
bad.
and it's weird
Dewey
because
Cox, that's fucked up.
there's moments where it's unintentionally funny. There's moments where it's actually funny, pero the tone shifts so hard that como que you can't place it on where Michael Mann kind of wants you to be in emotionally. That's the first problem. The second problem is there's a lot of exposition, and there's even exposition for stuff that you see in a previous scene. So, for example, let's say that Ferrari's trying to like build a new car and get a driver that's competent enough to drive his car, and you see kind of the process, and it goes through like kind of like screening these potential drivers. Cut to next scene, and he's explaining the same shit he just did in the previous scene to like a third character that was never in the previous scene. So it's like, well, why are you giving me the same context you already gave me when I saw it visually? You're just giving it to me verbally now. You're wasting time. On top of a movie being like 2.5 hours long, like a very long movie too. Um, and even like the car scenes, like the actual race. I don't know. I don't feel like it was that engaging. Like I haven't seen, por ejemplo, Gran Turismo, but I've heard Gran Turismo has really good, compelling race scenes. But this one kind of lacks it, and I'm surprised because Michael Mann, like I know he's capable of like doing great blocking, doing great composition in terms of like action set pieces, which those will be considered action set pieces. But they just seem comical, and it seems like the movie didn't have a budget to some degree. It was bizarre. I don't know. It was weird. I think maybe I'm in the minority. I talked to some other people, and some other people kind of dug it. There were some other people that said like it was the best race scenes they've ever seen. I don't. I think that's kind of
Wow.
insane. I think that's kind of insane. I don't think that's accurate, but
that's
a little bit of a stretch. That's a high bar, and I don't.
Ford versus Ferrari was sick.
That's what I'm saying. So when you compare it to Ford and Ferrari, it's not up to snuff. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. That's a high
So
bar.
it's okay. It's just a very mid movie. That's just what it is.
You were also present at Comic-Con, am I right?
Yes, I was present at Comic-Con. So I just bought a bunch of stuff, mostly comics, because that's what you do at a Comic-Con. You buy comics. You don't buy that weed
No.
shit.
Time out.
What? Oh,
That's what you do at a Comic-Con now. That there's strikes going on. But back in the day, you would go to, starstruck out. Get starstruck with all the upcoming movies and all that stuff. But they're really not promoting anything this year, right?
well, back in the days where even I wasn't born, in the '80s, the good old times, just had about a bunch of vendors, a bunch of like long boxes, just comics. That's what you got before.
What's that? What long
long boxes, the boxes.
We have a thing called tablets nowadays, where we just
I see.
Just
disgusting. Okay, so now I just my comics, and there was a bunch of booths like Crunchyroll booths. There was a Dragon Ball booth. There was a There's a bunch of anime stuff, and I understand. Like I make this joke, but I understand that anime has become very prevalent in pop culture. So obviously they're promoting it a lot. There's obviously.
I would like everybody to know the way he's expressing himself. I understand that anime has become prevalent. This guy down here is like a closet weeb and a half.
But I just see the basic ones. I just see the ones that everyone sees.
What are you talking about? No, you're not. You recommend shit all the time. You're like, I remember when Spy Family came out. You were like, no, wait a second. Time out. Let's not even talk about Spy Family. What is it?
Okay.
Kintaro is alone? Is that
okay. That's the only one that I saw that was like a little bit
I think you and like 10 other people saw that one.
That's true. That's the only one I can say is kind of obscure. But I've seen all the mainstream ones. I saw How My Hero, Chainsaw Man, Spy Family. No, everyone sees those. They only had like a little. Yeah.
I saw like 3 episodes of. Is Kentaro Lives Alone? Kentaro, is that
it?
Kentaro.
Yeah.
I saw like 3 episodes, right? And I think that's like the second anime where from the start, I was like, I really can't get involved. Like I can't get attached to this character.
Okay.
Like nothing about the show really is like latching onto me. I have problems sometimes watching anime. Like it's just the length. I can't stay engaged like that long. But that one in particular, I was just like, what the hell? What is it? You sold us on that one? Oh my god, you were pitching that one hard.
Kotaro one, yeah.
Potaro, right? Potaro lives
where
alone.
like the kid is by himself or some shit in the house or something.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. And Orengo was like, he like ugly cried. He had to go into the shower and like go into the fetal position and like cry it out because it was so like
sometimes anime isn't for everyone.
Sometimes anime is hard.
Sometimes anime is hard.
Anime is hard that way.
But I did get to see some panels, so I saw 2. I saw a weeb one and a movie one. So you're right. The strikes did affect a lot of potential panels that could have been done because of the WGA strike and now the SAG strike. I think because of the WGA concluding just a little bit before the New York Comic Con, there's some leeway for some of the creators of certain shows and movies to come on down. And since the DGA was never on strike, they can bring in directors. So I saw the Blumfest, which is the Blumhouse panel.
Okay.
He showed 3 movies. One of them already released, which is Totally Killer, which I've heard pretty good things about it. It's like a sort of a slasher, Back to the Future type of vibe.
Yeah.
They talked about Night Swim, which I think is a movie coming out next year. The premise is, what if there was a creature in your pool? And that's kind of the idea. You're gonna go into that pool, and then you think there's no one there, and then there's like a creature. We don't know what the creature is. And they kind of like grab the people and pull them down into like the
Did they show
nothingness, I guess.
footage?
They showed a little clip,
You don't
like a
fucking
teaser.
go back into the pool.
Yeah, exactly. I know, right? That's what I said when I saw the premise. I'm like, she just never go
That's
to
what
the
the
pool.
fuck
I don't
you
get
do.
it. Yeah, I
It's
know.
a creature in the
I
pool.
know.
What do we do? We don't go in the pool.
I don't go to the pool. I know it's a little weird.
Wasn't there like an M. Night Shyamalan movie about that? The Lady in the Water or something like that?
That's also what I said.
Bro,
That's also kind of what I
caucus
said.
problems. That's what that sounds. That sounds like caucus problems to me. I don't understand.
I saw the teaser. I'm like, it seems stupid, but the guy apparently he made a short about it, which I can see a short of this, and this makes sense as a short. But then like Blum, no, it was James Wan. He saw the short on a festival, and the next day he called the director. And was like, we need to make like this into a feature. It seems like a great concept. I'm like, I don't know if you can stretch this for an hour and a half, but maybe you can. So the last thing I saw was I think a clip from Five Nights at Freddy's. Um, they only showed a clip where he basically the main character is watching the VHS video, the informational
Like
video of
the onboarding video of like, welcome to Five Nights at Freddy's.
yeah,
Like,
exactly, yeah, that's it.
yeah,
So they
training
show
day.
you like that. Yeah, they show you that, which is kind of cool. And then they kind of talk about a little bit of the process. Blumhouse, Jason Blum. He was talking about how he, when he was conceptualizing the idea of Five Nights at Freddy's, which is one of the bigger franchises they've acquired. Um, he was talking of how to tackle the story because they've been doing it for 8 years. I think 8 or 7 years. In the end, he said something along the lines like, in the process of trying to see if we're going to kind of please fans or bring in a wider audience, we instead show fans. So I guess for the people who really like the games, this is gonna be more for them than for general audiences. It's like we're welcoming of general audiences. Like we didn't compromise. We didn't want to bog down what the premise and what the IP was in order to kind of get more people to see the movie. We just want to make sure that we don't fail the core audience that we have by having this IP. So it'll be interesting.
Amazing.
Yeah, I know.
But still, it sells ridiculous amount. Like they ported that game over to like I don't know if they ported it to consoles, but like it's seriously
everywhere. It's everywhere.
Like massive on that thing.
Yeah, it's everywhere. So the final panel that I saw was My Hero Academia panel. I got to see like a special episode that hasn't even aired in Japan yet. I don't know when it's gonna air. It's not that big of a deal. You're not like missing out. It's just it's one of those. I guess you call it ovas. It's just one of those episodes where kind of like it's a filler.
Will you stop acting like you don't like? I guess you call it OVA, like OVA. Is that what you can call it?
It's a filler. It's a fucking filler episode. Stop it. Get some help. It's a fucking filler episode. It's just a filler episode where it's after the events of I think season 6, where like Deku and the gang they go back to the school because the evil guys are like fucking attacking the city, which is basically every season. So they're like in winter break, and they can't do anything because they literally can't go outside. So they start talking about playing like a card game, and it turns into Yu-Gi-Oh with like fucking My Hero Academia. They all make characters, and I can share the cards because like we got little cards from them too. I can show them later. And they all got character cards, and they all like play against each other in like a little virtual sim that looks like fucking Yu-Gi-Oh. Like little characters pop up with big eyes, and they start fighting each other, and whoever wins like passes to the next round. And then eventually, like Deku and Bakugo do the same fucking shit. They use their own cards and they fight, but it's a stalemate because of course it's a stalemate. And then the episode ends. It was a cute little episode. They showed it in the dub, which is surprising. because again they haven't shown this in Japan yet, so I'm surprised they got the episode so quickly and they were able to dub it so quickly too. So I think that episode probably going to release around wintertime because of the it's thematically winter break. So and I guess it's to hold you over for the next season. Um, Other than that,
What
it
was
was cool. Like
what was the ambiance like? Was it packed? Was it hard to get around? Or was it like chill?
so Thursday was chill because that's the day that the least amount of people buy tickets because it's usually so from what I understood, people explained to me. So Thursdays and Sundays is the days that you want to go as a collectionist. Now, if you want to go more for like cosplaying or big panels or stuff like that, you go Friday or Saturday. Because of that, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are the days that are most filled. Thursdays, I guess because people, they're going to come in on a weekend, they're not going to come from a Thursday. So that's why there's less people on Thursday, but it's not like that much. So I went on Thursday and Friday. Friday was pretty fucking packed. It was
Yeah.
packed. Yeah, it was insane. I could move around. It's not like you can't move around, but Thursday was a little more easygoing for sure.
Um, we'll jump to me real quick. I actually saw 2 movies this weekend. I watched a movie. So there was a movie with Idris Elba and what the heck is her name from Titanic? Kate Winslet.
Kate Winslet?
Yes.
The one where the plane crashes.
Yes.
The mountain between us, or some shit like that, right?
Yes, the mountain between us. Oh Lord. Okay. So that movie's actually. I didn't think it was bad. I didn't think.
Did you see it with your girlfriend, or did you see it by yourself?
Why is that even a question? Like, what does that have to do with anything? I can't watch
because when you watch,
Did you watch it for yourself or not?
Just to answer it. Did you see it with your
who you're
girlfriend?
with changes.
I was
your
watching it with my girl. What's the problem?
I see.
It's
No,
who
here's
you're
the
with.
funny thing.
Okay. No, now we have context to what you're about to say.
Exactly. There you go.
I saw 2, which makes you laugh. I saw 2 morally objective movies, or whatever. I saw that, and I saw a movie called Something Borrowed. Have you guys ever seen that movie?
Something borrowed? No.
Something Borrowed. Have you seen that movie? It's a movie from like 2000.
I think I've heard about that movie. I think I've heard of who's in it.
Kate Hudson, Jim from The
Who's
Office.
in it?
He has a delay. That's why. Kate Hudson.
No,
and
I know about it, but I haven't seen it. No, I haven't seen that shit.
Okay, this is one of those movies. I'm glad they're all men here. This is one of those movies where like. This is one of those movies where like I think if you watch it with your boys, you'll be like, this is a situation that would like never happen amongst your boys. Like, there's a fine line. Here comes some misogyny for everybody. There's a thing called guy code, right? And we don't tend to share each other's girlfriends or exes, right? Like, no
Wait, does
matter
that happen in this movie?
No.
It's called Something Borrowed, and basically, it's the premise is these 2
The
girls.
woman borrowed? Is that what you're trying to suggest?
These 2 girls have grown up together their whole lives, and
The
Kate Hudson
vagina was borrowed, bro.
Kate Hudson basically plays a character that's very like self-consumed. Everything has to be about her, and her friend is played by some other. I forget her name, the actress. She was in Walk the Line.
Oh yeah,
Not the famous one, the other one.
Not Reese Witherspoon, but the other.
Not Reese Witherspoon, exactly. The other actress. Basically, she plays like the quieter, more like reserved friend that always falls into the back because the other one is like a smoke show and she's everything is all about her, blah blah. But then the smoke show is getting married, right? The smoke show is getting married, and they both know the boyfriend. I guess the coy one introduced the boyfriend to the smoke show. What happens? They find out that they always had feelings for each other, and while this man is about to get married, he starts dipping his hand into the honey pot of the best friend. And for some reason, this is considered romance. Like, I was watching it, and I'm pretty sure that like my future mother-in-law and my girlfriend were like annoyed by my commentary because all I could say was like, how is this like what do you mean? Like I was like, everybody's wrong here. How is he not a scumbag for doing that. Why? Because he's good looking? Like what? How is she not? How is she not a trash bag for betraying her best friend right now and not even telling her? And it's only getting worse. Like as time goes on, they're seeing each other secretly and all that stuff. The guy, I forget his name. The guy that we all wanted for Mr. Fantastic.
Jim Caviezel. I don't know, like
what the heck? What?
John Krasinski.
John
Krasinski.
From The Office. John Krasinski is in this movie. John Krasinski plays one of like the coolest characters in the sense that he was smart enough to remove him. And while all this is going on, he basically goes to England and he moves away from all these crackpots or whatever. But it was one of those movies where it's like we got into philosophical discussions or whatever, and I was like, she was like, but basically my girlfriend was like, well, you have to understand it's like a love story. This and that. I was like, no, it's a love story. I understand, but you would never catch me dating one of Nick's ex-girlfriends. Like, I was like, besides the fact that he has horrible taste, I would never date any of his ex-girlfriends. Like, you would never catch me doing that. That's like the most like gross thing you could do to your best friend or whatever.
Let alone in the week of the wedding.
Yeah. I was like, how is it like? This is one of those movies like Twilight. Like you like women say this is the most romantic shit I've ever seen, but yeah, you're ignoring the fact that homeboy is like 200 years old, like running after a 16-year-old. Like,
bro,
I was just laughing. The movie has its moments. It's pretty like some of the moments are just. It's like a cringe. It's like watching like 90 Day Fiance. It's like you're like lowering into your chair of like cringeworthiness where like they find themselves in situations where you're like, oh, the bubble's about to burst. They're about to let things go. Blah blah blah. It was a decent movie. It was okay or whatever. I had never seen it before. I didn't even know this movie existed. So literally, like my girl recommended it to me. And we sat through it, and by the end, I couldn't believe this movie had the elephantine testicles to pull a Marvel stinger at the end.
Oh, there's more,
bro. They leave the movie. Yeah, they leave the movie once the credits roll. It has a stinger at the end, and it leaves it open for the story to pick up again with John Krasinski's character in England, and the blonde chick that was supposed to get married that didn't get married, and she turned out to be a whole bag too. She goes to England. She ends up in it, and they leave it open for another one.
Did I was anything informed, ever come from them?
No, they just that's the funny part. I was informed that supposedly people wanted a sequel to this movie.
Oh, so did it make money?
No, it was panned critically, and I don't think it made that much money. But I mean, anybody can open an IMDb page. Let's be honest. But there's an IMDb page for a sequel, and I think Krasinski is attached. And last I checked, they literally gave out a number like, in order for us to make a sequel, we need this much money. Like they publicized it, like we want 30 million to make Something Blue, which is the sequel.
Is there a GoFundMe page?
No, I don't know if it's a GoFundMe page. But you know what the funny part is? I told my girl, I was like, you know what the sad part is? That shit'll probably get greenlit. They're like, why? I was like, because John Krasinski is bankable now.
Yep.
John Krasinski is like a moneymaker now. So if he wanted to, if he said, yeah, I'll do it, whatever, like that movie will get greenlit like this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that movie will get made like in a heartbeat if they had if he wants it to happen, because John Krasinski makes like massive moves now. Then after that, we decided to sit through that Idris Elba movie again. Morally questionable.
Yeah,
but they're like trying to survive. It's beautiful that they're she's married. What do you mean? Like, what? It was funny. It was funny, bro. What happened?
Bro. It's first. There's these two people. They're in a plane. It crashes. They don't think they're gonna survive. If you think you're gonna die on that mountain,
here we go. This is why I brought this up, because I knew that Nick was gonna have a morally objectifiable opinion.
Bro, you're in a mountain. Isn't her leg like obliterated? Isn't her leg like completely broken?
She injures her leg, like I don't know. it looked like a questionable gash, but they make it out to be like
bro.
her.
Isn't there like a leopard or some shit around there too?
Yeah, that was also a very yo that movie sells you on getting. I think it's a golden retriever. I'm not sure. That movie sells you on getting a golden retriever. Yo, golden retriever. There's a leopard that like there's okay. So the plane crashes. Idris Elba and Kate Winslet. They get on a plane. The plane crashes in like the mountains or whatever, and then like the back of the plane rips off. So it's like half of the plane, and they're like it's a makeshift house now in the mountains. There's a scene where a leopard comes. And she's by herself and with the dog because Idris Elba is like trying to march out to see if he gets cell phone signal or whatever like try to get help. The leopard like scratches out the window and she's like, the dog, like if the dog had subtitles, it would read, "I got this shit." the dog literally steps out. The dog steps out of the plane. The dog walks out the plane and all you hear is like if there's a fight going down. Like there's this massive fight going down, and you hear like the dog gets injured, and the cat like makes its way, it wobbles in, and she shoots it with like some sort of flare gun. But the fact that the dog even lasted like 5 minutes with a freaking like a cougar in the hills, I was like, oh, I want a dog like that. Like I was laughing my ass off. I was like, wow, the freaking dog literally went toe to toe with a cougar and survived. Dog's another character in the movie. He still plays out throughout the rest of the movie. But yeah,
I mean,
go ahead. Give me your objective perspective.
I mean, bro, like there's instances where things sliding
that dick, yeah,
bro. Like if you're in the situation where you're about to get fucking.
That's his wife cutting his internet right now.
Yep, that's it.
You're gonna start. I think a pass. You know what I'm saying? I think a pass is not how you call it, not the worst thing. You know what I mean? Like I'll do some wild shit if I think I'm not getting off that mountain either.
Okay.
So you're into the hall pass idea, but instead of a hall pass, it's like a cougar pass. We got like a leopard pass or something, like a mountain pass.
If you're in the situation where you probably not getting off that mountain alive, who the fuck is gonna find out anyway?
So what Nick basically, let me translate for all you people.
Yes, please.
What Nick is basically saying, if I was trapped in a mountain with Idris Elba, I would have probably given up my ass too. Like that's what Nick really wants to say. That's what really Nick is trying to say. If I was caught in a mountain with Idris Elba, I'd drop my draws too. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No. Would I let Idris Elba, lick my testicles? I let him lick my testicles. I'm not coming up.
All right. Oh man, you always just got.
Don't start it. Don't start the topic if you're not ready for it, bro. Don't start the topic.
All right.
You don't want me to get off leash.
Don't make me mute you. All right. So the movie itself has its moments of tense, like that whole scene with the plane crash. That was pretty nerve wracking. The solution to the movie it was all right. It was okay. It wasn't anything out of this world, but those are two movies which I didn't even know existed. Did one of them come out during COVID?
I think the mountain one, right?
No.
I think no.
Are
you sure?
No, I don't think so.
Was it right before
then?
It
was before that. I think it was.
Was it distributed before COVID?
I feel like it. Yeah, I feel like it.
I can't verify.
You have to check, but I don't
remember. Anyways, those were the two movies I saw this weekend. Besides their next topic, which we're about to discuss. Who here saw Loki?
Saw one episode.
I saw Loki.
Both episodes?
I'm up to date. Yeah.
Okay, I'm
up to date, right? I'm up to date, and I'm gonna tell you this off the bat. Off the bat.
Oh, here we go. Exclusive.
Shit. Yep.
I'm so happy I saw episode 2 today because I really wasn't digging episode 1.
Wow, really?
Not a
Interesting.
huge fan of the first episode.
That comes that's a big statement coming
not
from.
Not a huge fan. Like
coming from somebody like Nick who has the character literally tattooed on his arm.
Bro.
Yeah.
Bro, I was like, I saw that first episode. I was like, don't do this to me.
Okay. So, what was your problem with the first episode?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's hard to explain. To be honest, it's hard to explain. I don't know what it was. I don't know if I felt like it lost some of its magic from the first season. I really like Obi's character. I like Obi's character. Like when they introduced Obi's character, I was like, okay, I'm liking his character and shit. I don't know. I really can't put my finger on it of what it was between episode 1 and episode 2 that I felt like episode 2 for me I liked so much more. But as I was watching it, I literally was like, where the fuck are they going? Where are they going with this season? This season has 6 episodes. I'm like, the jumping through time
Hold on. Time out.
Is that leading anywhere?
Let me interject. You didn't get the theme of this season in the first episode? Because I felt like they treated us like morons at one point in that episode. I felt like they were like way too blatant with what the theme of the season was gonna be.
No. Yeah, but time jumping. But when I'm watching it, it's like it's not.
Oh, not time jumping.
For me specifically,
not time jumping.
What is it? What did you get from
repetitive loops? Repetitive loops.
I felt like I wasn't captured by it as
really?
much as I wanted to. Loki is my favorite Marvel show, but like it's not even a question. It's my favorite Marvel show. So as I was watching this, I don't know what was it that it just felt different from last season. Like last season, like we all know. We could go back to the episodes. I was on Loki's nuts that whole season. Like I said again, my favorite fucking Disney show, my favorite Marvel show, my favorite character in the Marvel universe. I'm happy that I like the second episode a lot more than the first episode. I like the reintroduction of Sylvie. I like how those characters talk to each other and the conversations that they have with each other, the interactions that they have with each other. What's happening with the other characters? What happens? The event that happens in the second episode. I don't know. I'm not gonna say it because because Orengo and Ghostface didn't see it. But what happens in the second episode, I was like, holy shit.
You're talking about the second one?
Like the second episode. Wait. when what happens to the branches.
Okay.
But that's all. I don't know if everybody else if everybody else saw it, so I'm not gonna rat it out. But I was like, fuck.
Rat it out. That's what we do in the show.
We feel like there was stakes when they started fucking blowing up, and then the way they explained it was like billions of people.
Yeah.
This is billions and billions. This is fucking more than what Thanos did, because Thanos was like, I'm guessing this one universe. They was obliterating branches and billions, maybe even trillions of people. I was like, it feels like there's stakes here. The first episode, I don't know if because Ant-Man left like a weird taste in my mouth when it comes to Kang, where everybody's so scared of Kang in episode 1, and I'm like, he got beat by Ant-Man. How bad can these variants be? Fucking Paul Rudd beat him. I was like, meh. I don't know. Paul Rudd beat him. I was like, you know what I'm saying? It was like Loki's performance, Tom Hiddleston, nasty as always. Morbius, my dude. I don't know what it is, bro. Like really, I can't even put my finger on it. I'm just watching it, and I was like this.
Okay.
I just wasn't captivated. Second episode, yeah. First episode, like, okay.
Okay. Really? Wow. I'm shocked that you would say that.
I'm fucking shocked.
So, but the second episode, you enjoyed it, right? You said you enjoyed it.
I enjoyed the second episode.
Anything memorable from the second episode that you really like, besides establishing the stakes? I don't know if you got that.
What happened?
Was there anything in the second episode besides establishing the stakes that you really liked? Any
Oh, I
theories?
liked a bunch
Anything?
of things. I first off, I'll tell you the thing that I liked. I liked how I liked how Loki's powers were shown. Like that little part where the shadows come up and then the horns came up and the shadows grab him. I was like, yo, it's been a while since they let Loki show, you know what I'm saying, some powers and shit that are not just the little fucking green plasma balls and him just, you know what I'm saying, making copies of himself. I was like, the shit was dope. When he made the copies of all the people in the streets that they looked like they was gonna fuck X5 or whatever the fuck his name is, I was like, that's pretty dope. Like some of the powers that they let Loki go off with, I was like, dope. One thing that I got scared of is during the interrogation when they're interrogating X5 and X5 is trying to get under Loki's skin. I was like, Loki better not bitch out. They better after thousands of years of my guy being alive, they better not let fucking X5 get under his fucking skin. I was like, Loki is cool and collective at all times. Don't fucking do that to the character. So when he was like, yeah, maybe I am the villain. Maybe I do some awful things sometimes and shit. And like he gets really close, I was like, ooh. Somebody about to get that guy. Somebody about to whip the dagger out, son. I got hype. I was like, yes, this is the Loki that I want to fucking see. I was like, that's right. That's right, Hiddleston. Get up in there. And that little like
I see the show. I see the show.
They do.
I see the show. I see the show, and I'm like, this is the same person that ripped an eyeball out of a person, out of somebody, in front of a whole bunch of people. Like, we forget, this is the guy that literally
exactly. I was like the menacingness, bro.
The what?
It's the Jamie Lannister effect all over again, bro. I was like, yes, the Jamie Lannister effect, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, Loki. I want to see the menacing shit. I want to see Loki scare somebody. I don't want to fucking see Loki always like, we got to do the right thing. And I'm like, fuck that.
He was going to crush somebody inside a box.
Bro,
turn him into paste.
Bro, and like he got really close.
That's all you got to say about the episode? No theories? Any theories about anything at all?
No, I there's a bunch of things that I like. I theory wise, I'm up in the air. I don't know exactly. I don't know where they're going. I felt like it was easier in season 1 just because of how the phase was going, how everything else in the universe of Marvel was going. Since now everything just looks jumbled. Everything like this is fucking here, this is there. There's not a lot of continuity between everything. I'm not sure. Like I'm picturing, okay, it has something to do with Kang. It's gonna lead something into Secret Wars. There's things like you already know more or less what's gonna happen. But I like theory wise, I don't have as many theories as I did in season 1, when we all felt like it was a clear image of what the fuck was going down.
Okay. All right. So, we'll let Ghostface handle his business. He'll be back. Orengo, just on episode 1, what did you like? What did you feel like?
I mean, I liked it. Loki's one of the few shows that I actually like from the Marvel ones. So I always like the dynamic, the Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston. Their dynamic. It's very fun. Sylvie was always like an issue for me, so I think I like this episode because she's not there. But maybe that character gets better. I don't know. Who knows?
Masculinity all the way. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. But I liked it. It was very simple to like follow. It's like it's like the repercussions of what happened last season. So the chaos ensuing. He's like glitching out. Having the new character, what's his name? Was it O or something like that?
Ouroboros, Obi.
Exacto, Obi. So Obi's character was really fun. I don't know if we're gonna see more of him. You'll know because you saw a second episode. Okay, cool. I like this character. It was fun. The whole kind of playing with the time travel where he kind of goes back in the past. He tells him what to do, and then Obi's like, I mean, I don't know what to do. Oh wait, I kind of do. Wait, I remember. It's like, okay, that's kind of cool because usually you don't see.
That was very inspired.
Yeah.
I was like, ay, espérate, this is real. Like, oh shit, you guys. Esto es where I locked in And I was like, my knives are now put away entirely. Like, you're doing a real piece of cinema.
Right? Exacto. Yeah. You're talking about, okay, you actually thought of this. This is not like stupid bullshit.
I loved it, cabrón.
That was really cool. Yeah.
When he was out in the thing, I was like, oh my god, this is the Marvel that I grew up loving. Eso.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You didn't feel. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you, but you didn't feel at some point in that episode like they were like treating you, they were holding you too much by the hand, like.
They have to, because I think this is a lot of people's first foray into Loki is this season, so I think they have to do a little bit of that.
Okay.
I mean,
like,
it's the biggest I've ever seen it.
When he was jumping back and forth between time, and then Mobius just out of nowhere decides to write. He decides to write on the dusty desk.
Yeah,
or whatever. I was like, oh, why are you you're creating a reference point like right there or whatever to establish time, because he's gonna jump forward in time and he's gonna see it or not see it or whatever. Like, I was like, oh, it's like, why did you do that? Like, I was really invested. I was like, okay, they're doing something a little bit fresh or whatever, not too handholdy, until they did that, and I was like, okay, you kind of have to like clean it out or whatever. I thought that was like a little bit. It's something very minor, but I was like, oh, damn it.
I don't know why. Maybe I didn't mind it as much. Quizás porque it's sci-fi, so if you get too bogged down. I know what you can do when you go very extreme. Shit like Shane Carruth and what he does, that's so extreme on what sci-fi can be. But this one is like, you kind of have to balance it out a little bit. And I think the balancing out was well done, because there's something that felt inspired by it, like you said. And sure, there could have been moments like what you said, using a reference point, so the audience can also follow through.
Exactly,
I guess I don't mind. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. I thought it was fine because the characters are really good, really fun, and the situation they're in, it's kind of interesting because you don't know what's going to happen.
Hey!
This guy over here.
Wow, this guy gets really. This guy really likes his Marvel movies, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Up in there, bro.
Bro,
Marvel.
You tell me that was your thigh, bro. You out here like fucking Godzilla, my guy. Jesus Christ, bro.
Like, I'll tell you how much I loved it.
That's how much I loved it.
Bro, you doing the wrong type of movies, bro. Jesus.
Well, I'm doing the right kind because it looks like I'm being copied. So
yeah.
We got to talk about that a little later, because I want to know when that phrase was created.
Keep on going with your review of.
You'll have to tell. Look at the group chat. I need to know when that phrase was uttered by this person.
Yeah. Overall, I liked it. I like the little cliffhanger, even though we kind of saw it because of the promotional material, the whole McDonald's thing. So cool to see. It was just a fun reintroduction of the characters, and I think the numbers spoke for itself. I think that the first episode, the first episode garnered a few million watchers.
400 billion.
What?
Just kidding.
What? It's impossible. It's literally impossible. It's literally impossible.
We're talking about the viewership, not how many people were served at McDonald's with that.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure it was a high number. We could go check the article.
When looking over
if I know I saw something regarding like the viewership numbers for the first episode. They were pretty high up there. They were kind of matched with the first season.
It was streamed something like a bajillion times, but it's 10.9 million. And then just restreamed over and over and over and over and over again.
There you go. So it's kind of a high number.
Maybe their most popular show, right?
I think in between the Marvel shows, I think maybe right now, and with the Marvel shows, exactly. Yeah, I think it's the one that kind of like held people over. So people like Tom Hiddleston, I think.
The audience likes really kind of wackadoo shit.
It has to be.
What? Go ahead, Nick.
I don't understand. It tells us that audiences like wacky
kind of like
movies.
Mandalorian.
There's a delay. Nick. There's a delay. That's what it is. Go ahead, Nick.
I know. I have the ill delay. I know. Well, I was gonna say it kind of has like the effect like season 2 of The Mandalorian has, because Loki was one of the few shows within the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe of shows that actually stuck, like people actually like. There's not a big group of people that was like, I didn't like that fucking Loki show. So it's one of the few shows that are people like, yeah, like if WandaVision would have had a season 2, WandaVision probably would have had high numbers too, because it's one of those few shows that everybody was like, yeah, okay, I'm waiting for this.
So
Yeah.
you done, or you want me to go? All right.
I like it.
You liked it. As I started watching the episode, I honestly just, it felt good to watch these characters again, to come back. There's a lot of like chemistry, like you said, between Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson. Owen, right? Am I getting that right?
Yep.
Owen Wilson. I forget. I get them confused all the time. There's a lot of chemistry between them, but also picking up exactly where we left off and having him glitch out between we don't exactly know in the beginning like where he's glitching out to or whatever. So they're establishing the rules in that first episode. They're hitting you over the head with the theme of it, I think, because when they give you a character called Ouroboros, and then you establish that he's jumping back and forth, and then there's a scene, spoilers for everybody who hasn't seen it, kind of get the notion that he glitched himself. He's the one that like zapped himself or whatever from that timeline. You get that, Nick? I know you weren't feeling the first episode.
Yeah.
Maybe you weren't paying attention to that part, but
when Sylvie opens up the elevator,
yeah, somebody zaps him or whatever. Which I have a feeling that's him.
Yeah, it's him from
whatever,
a different timeline universe bullshit.
Yeah. For me, the Obi character, that actor in particular, especially since we've all seen, God, I'm gonna blank on the name. You know what
Indiana Jones.
Everything everywhere all at once. The Goonies.
Everything everywhere all at once. Goonies. I'm surprised that you would go to Indiana Jones and.
That's the joke. That's so funny.
That's the joke. That's literally the joke.
That's not a joke. He went there. That's
a joke.
No, seriously, having this guy come back or whatever after seeing that masterpiece and that whole time, I think. It was just really good seeing him on screen or whatever. There's something about that guy that just like emits a feeling. My theory is, I'm saying it right now, I have a feeling that's the villain of the series right there. We're literally looking at him. I have a gut feeling that's the villain of the series.
I feel like the villain of the series is probably the guy that beats women.
True.
I'm feeling like they're setting him up.
That's a little too spot on the nose. That's a little.
That's literally like he's the villain. I don't like maybe he can be like.
He might be the villain in real life, but not in the series. I don't think so.
You don't think that Kang, whatever the fuck his name is, I don't even care about pronouncing it correctly because he sucks. You don't think that Kang is like a villain?
I think that's the bigger villain, and this show as this guy down here has established.
Fair. So that'll be the season baddie that he's got to destroy.
Exactly.
Okay.
I think it's Obi.
Cool.
I think Obi is the season villain and the bigger villain because this series has to exist by itself, and then probably won't be mentioned in the movie or whatever. That's the way it works.
You're a visionary. You're a luminary because honestly, that twist, I in the best way possible would piss off so many people, and that's the best kind of a twist.
But that's not MO.
Like, at this point, I really like this guy. Now he's the villain. I think people would love that. It'd be cool.
Yes. I honestly think that's the whole thing here, and everything just feels a little bit too. If you saw episode 2, Orengo, I know you didn't see episode 2. I think there's a scene where he's a little bit too dismissive of things that are happening. He's like, I literally can't deal with this shit right now because I'm too busy repairing a machine or whatever. Like, I'm too busy repairing this. Fuck off. And to me, I was like, that seems a little off for me. Besides his name, Ouroboros is, the snake consuming its own tail. The whole series is about like repeating cycles over and over and over and over again. And he just so happens to be putting them on a path to solving the issue or whatever. Like Nick established, I'm sorry, Orengo, I have to spoil it.
Sure.
In the second episode, they established like major stakes. You have one part of the TVA, which in the first one, I think they touch on it, right? In the first part of in the first episode, you have people who want to prune.
Everything.
You want people that they're like, you're literally going to kill a massive amount of people if you do that. And we don't want to do that anymore. After we found out that we're basically tools to a higher power that doesn't even exist, we've been basically indoctrinated. We don't want to take part in doing that anymore. So in the second episode, sorry, Orengo, when they start pruning
Mute
whatever, You didn't see it either?
Make like a face, like make a hand signal when I can unmute you.
Oh, he didn't see it either. What the?
Oh, I thought you were gonna. I didn't
see it either.
No, my baby.
Oh, you only see
episode one. Okay.
Never mind. Okay, all right. I'm sorry.
Can we talk about Our Flag Means Death because it's really dope?
We'll get to it if you want to talk about it. So certain things happen in episode 2 that.
Oh, so it's okay when Jordan tells you like, "Oh, I didn't see it." That's what that is.
Jordan's likable. Jordan's more likable than you are.
Okay. See? Yeah. Wet watch. He's gonna be the villain. You'll see.
Am I Jar Jar Binks? Am I Darth Jar Jar?
You're Darth Jar Jar.
Yeah. Where's Hennessy? Speaking of Jar Jar, Hennessy hates that character so much. I wish he was here right now.
Let me finish.
No.
The stakes are established. The stakes are established in episode 2. Things get really interesting or whatever. But I think Obi is the main villain. I honestly like the series where it's headed. I don't quite understand how this girl plays into the whole formula yet, but it's only the second episode.
She's a Loki, so
I know, but I'm just like I don't know. We'll see. She seems to be happy in McDonald's land. Like she seems to be. I don't know if it's that duality of like that's always what she's been, because in the first season, right, she doesn't want anything to do with the TVA. You're really on that. Well, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Maybe she was like that in the first season or whatever. Like she didn't want to have anything to do with the TVA, but since they were chasing her, she felt like she had to take them down or whatever. I'm really enjoying it. I'm just wondering how they can top the first season's holy shit moment. Besides the villain, if what I think is true about the villain, if that's their holy shit moment, and that's the villain, then that was a pretty big part of that series, like that part at the end with that reveal and that certain acting or whatever. That was literally the thing that initiated, right?
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of things in that show. The fucking episode with all the fucking Lokis was dope as fuck. We had old man Loki fucking get rid of the fucking dust bunny, whatever the fuck that was. That was very fucking dope to see. I thought that there was like a lot of dope shit in that first season.
Let me ask you a question also. Nick, since you saw the second episode, doesn't it kind of deflate what they do, since we know that they don't really get cover years, Santa Cana. Cover years.
Muffin ears, bro.
I can't cover my ears? What is this?
You're not important. You don't care about this shit.
I care.
I just muted.
I have a theory though. All right. So I'll get it.
So since we've established in the first season that pruning just sends them to another, basically like another form of plane or whatever. Well, I mean, doesn't that really like, all right, you deleted all these timelines. That just means that you're sending them to that place. That was the one thing that for me, when they established that, holy shit, they're pruning all those timelines.
I mean,
I'm like, okay, you're just filling that planet or that form of existence with like a whole shitload of people.
Yeah, exactly. Now the whole idea of pruning, it loses all impact.
What?
I mean, there is a gigantic, life-consuming cloud in that timeline. But did they kill it in the first season? I can't remember.
Like fight him the fuck off. And that's why I remember. I thought it was like old man Loki took care of him, and that's how they got to go to fucking to where He Who Remains was at.
Again, the whole thing. I like the show, but there's some rules that I'm just a little bit like I'm not clear on. Like you establish like, oh, this is a big stake or whatever, but if according to the rules you established in the first season, that's technically just another form of existence. You're just sending them to like another plane. So I'm just a little curious as to see like what's going on or whatever. The theories about like where this
it's like a prison.
You don't even want to go down that rabbit hole. Oh my god, you don't even want to go down that rabbit hole.
What's Orango?
Huh? Orengo, what's your theory? He doesn't care. He doesn't care.
My theory is that
He's okay with
deep
the half
down, I'm not muted. Am I muted? No, I'm good. My theory is that Miguel actually doesn't like the show right now. That's what I'm
I
thinking.
do. No, I actually
No,
do.
no, I don't know.
No, I actually. So let me
think
tell
you're
you, I
not
like
taking
the
it.
first episode. I'll tell you one thing. I like the first episode.
Yeah.
It felt good to reconnect with these characters. The
Yeah.
second episode, I felt like it dragged a little bit, a tiny bit near the end. And like I told you, the only problem I have is the way they establish certain stakes. You pull this in the first season, it kind of like it's weird. I'm like, you know, you do this rule set where if you prune somebody, you send them to like this alternate timeline where shit is crazy or whatever. So you're pruning them now. Like, what are you doing? If it was like a permanent deletion, I'd be like, oh shit. But it's just weird. Like they got to keep on playing with the rules. Like we're gonna get another episode obviously this week. The one thing I fear with this show, and I think that's gonna come to fruition. I'll be honest with you. I like the show. We are still not gonna get an answer of how like the multiverse shit is gonna work. Like we're still not clear.
Who cares
on how the multiverse works? Like
who cares? Rules are dumb.
True. Break up rules. No one cares. Rules are for nerds.
I agree. When it comes to time travel and multiverse shit, who gives a shit about rules? Have fun. If you want to have a dude getting like carved when he was young and then it starts appearing when he's old, makes no sense. But you go ahead and you do it, bro. That looks cool as fuck.
And then another thing is also that another thing also is that you do realize, but I don't know because time works differently in the TVA. The rules they even established in Infinity War don't apply.
Yeah,
because they were wrong.
But but the movie, that's what I'm saying. It's weird because they literally gave you a whole spiel about your past becomes your or if your future self goes into the past, right?
Yeah.
Your future no longer is your future. It's like a separate, like.
I mean,
you had Loki talking to Obi, and then it was reflecting itself.
You can't change anything. You make a.
But aren't they all? But they aren't. But they're in like a magical realm, though, where
that's
the
get out of jail free card with them.
I think so
because
too.
The rules here don't necessarily apply the way they do in the rest. But
I think
again,
that's exactly what you called it. Get out of jail free card.
Get out of jail free card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all these movies don't give you the same kind of explanation in regards to multiverse. That's the problem. Yes. Like, I don't mind if the rules are kooky or if they have like a really weird concept of multiverse, but stick to one. Don't give me 20 because it does get a little confusing.
Even Ant-Man did the thing of like there's a microverse within the microverse. I was like, like,
yeah.
I was like, God damn it.
I met that actress at a place called So Random, a place called Mofongos for a parranda, and she was just sitting there, just like just like dancing to people doing a parranda, and it was amazing. I guess that the person from Mando really likes Bombay Plena. I just wanted you guys to know. It was the most random thing I'd ever witnessed in my. Fue por Alejandra, obviamente, but it was so random. I was just like, I don't see this connection, but this is incredible. Like, nice to meet you, first person from Star Wars I've ever met.
So Orengo, you're wrong. I like the show. It's just it's a little bit like
there's a bot. I don't know. You're getting a little cynical. That's great. That's what I want. I want you to get cynical. I want you to start hating all these shows.
It's not cynical. I can watch something and critique something at the same time. All right. We don't have to see just the positive. Right. My point is. I like the show. There's just some things that I'm just like I'm scratching my head over or whatever. But it's entertaining to see everybody back together again. There's like a lot of positive feelings attached to these characters. And I think at the time that the show came out, like we were all, zipped up tight, right?
We're very stuck in our homes.
We're like these 4 walls were like the only thing we had for entertainment at the time. So you kind of get like this weird nostalgic feeling for like, oh man, it felt good watching these guys and seeing them.
Are we done talking about Loki?
Look at this guy. He's the first one who wants to finish talking about Loki.
We have a 4th member here today that hasn't said anything about what.
Yeah, bro.
That's what happens when you
left for a little while.
Oh, okay. All right, Ghostface, give us your quick.
So when the episode started, I was really happy to see the camera moving. And then when I saw that it was motivated, and then it was like my roommate Joe and I kept looking at each other like, oh, okay. So I was very happy, and it seems like season 1 and like WandaVision, a show where it's allowed to be director driven. I would also argue that the Hawkeye show was pretty director driven too, because you could feel when Bert and Bertie took over directing duties, it was very clear that they were directing it. Just like when they direct Our Flag Means Death, it's like, oh, you guys directed this, got it, which is great. So I do appreciate that, and I know this is probably maybe not with the audience. I appreciate that they're director driven, that you can sense it's a handmade quality to the film, to the show rather. Everything from the production design to the costumes, there's like a hand-stitched quality to it that I really enjoy. Obviously, season 1 did this, but I do like the 70s aesthetic so fucking much. It just
it's like a washed out, like, right? Like,
yes, but even the things that they use, like the utensils, like everything that they use is like 70s adjacent. And it reminds me of a show. It reminds me of like if I'm watching Star Trek, right? That Star Trek really does feel like a product of the 60s. I feel like I'm watching a 1970s sci-fi show, or like Doctor Who if it had money in the 70s. So I really enjoy it. It tickles the fun parts of my brain really well, while also not being like dumb. Because sometimes time travel stuff can be pretty just dumb. But yeah, Tom Hiddleston, I'd say, is probably the king of Marvel at this point. Yeah. Like Robert Downey Jr. took off his crown, and I think it's Tom Hiddleston. Like that's, of all the OG players, I think he's still the one. Just like slicing down enemies with a samurai sword. He's fucking so charismatic, so talented. And obviously Ke Huy Quan. I liked him a lot, and I think that what really helped his character too is us for an entire year watching him in interviews and seeing how he's just the coolest guy in the world. So it's just like, oh my God, you're now letting him play himself, which is just the coolest guy in the world. So I'm really happy with him if he becomes the villain, like you said he will. That'd be pretty neat. I think that'd be a really good twist that I certainly won't see coming. I mean, now since you told me, you piece of shit, but.
Theory doesn't necessarily mean it's true. We have so many theories for all the other shows.
As long as Mephisto is not in it. Can you imagine like Mephisto's the bad guy? I would like literally close my
I'll be honest with you. That other guy in never mind. I can't talk about the episode. All right, never mind.
Did you guys see? Can we talk about the A24 thing?
You talking about their bid on what?
We can talk about all of them at once.
So was there something I want to talk about? Wait, but can you talk about that?
Yeah, I can start it off because I'm curious. I'm very curious what this douche will say.
So hold on. Wasn't there a bid recently? Can you
share? So two things happened.
Can we talk about the company that starts with the letter M? That's not Marvel.
Yeah, I work for them, of course.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if you can talk about that.
Hey, no, dude. Right. But I think that falls into the first thing I want to. Okay. So A24 was trying to buy Halloween, the television rights, from Mustafa Akkad, and that falls into play with A24's new plan, which is to do more IP-driven films and action-adventure films, which is great news for folks like me. It's terrible news for this guy, but I'm really excited because I feel like we might be able to get a little bit of that sweetness of the 90s again, of movies like anything from like The Relic to Face Off to even Heat. So I'm hoping against whatever cinema god there is that we're going to get that boom of mid-budget action again, because mid-budget action is the best action. I feel like even Orengo could agree the best action's mid-budget action. But
about that acquisition?
Yeah, so then Miramax got the rights to Halloween, which is cool because I believe this is the first time in a long time that a studio owns the rights to releasing the movies and the show, which is pretty cool. I mean, I adore that property with all my heart. So I will be there opening night, and it's like, Orengo. It's how Orengo is with Batman. That's how I'm with Michael Myers. It's just like I'm there. I don't even care if it's got a 0%. I am there. So I'm really excited. Anything to give me more Michael Myers. You know what I mean?
How do you feel about that, Mr. Orengo? That wonderful
Uh,
about how
the
they're
thing
gonna
is,
they're gonna desanctify your A24.
No, they're
thing
not.
is,
Wait,
they're not gonna stop.
They're not going to
Yeah,
stop doing A24 movies. They're just going to add now.
yeah,
Add maybe 3 movies. More like think about like movies like Upgrade. Just like maybe
yeah.
3 upgrades a year.
So regarding the IP stuff and the franchise stuff, they've already been doing that. Like this is nothing new. What they've been doing is just been doing IP stuff that's like more internet based. So they're doing the I think it's
Oh,
has been Hotel. It's like an animated show that's been going on for years on YouTube. They're
Yeah.
doing that. They doing ay carajo, that horror one, the lo-fi horror one.
Which
one
one?
for the
Name.
Rocka Rocka Boys.
No, see, no. But they also work with them, you know. But it's the
Incredible.
one with the one with the yellow hallways, the endless yellow hallways in the basements. I forgot the name of that freaking
Oh, what?
Wi YouTube. It's a YouTube series. It's
Oh, by the
I had
kid.
internet. I could check. Huh?
Wait, the one that's by like a 16-year-old kid that they
Yes,
yeah.
yes, that one. So that's also technically a franchise, an IP. So they've been dabbling in that
The
for the
one
last
with Green
2
Knight.
years.
We'll say Green Knight is an IP.
Yeah, I mean, technically, when you think about it, like
Got King
they've been
Arthur.
doing this for a while. I think it's okay them expanding to like I guess bigger IP, even though they already dabbled in this. I guess it was like a stepping stone. They're dabbling into the bigger IP stuff, and they're dabbling into action movies. Obviously, the action part is because of everything ever all at once. It made so much freaking money that obviously
In
incentivizes it. And I
reality,
guess
it's because of the strongly worded letters I've been sending them for 20 years.
okay, that helps too. But
So more action. That's all the letter says is more action.
and I guess after seeing like Bo is afraid flopping that hard, I guess it made them kind of like pull back a little bit. Even though Bo is afraid is fucking, I love Bo is afraid, but I guess it helped them kind of pull back a little bit. My problem with this is not that they're doing this; they can do whatever the hell they want. They need to make money. I get it. That's not the issue. My issue is for the last I would argue 2 years, I've seen huge increments of movies they've both produced and distributed every year to the point where they have, at the very least, easily 2 releases per month, and that's way too much. So what's happening is a lot of the maybe good movies, or you won't even know if they're good or not. They won't get their due. Like they're gonna be released for like a week at a movie theater, or they're gonna be dumped on Showtime. You're never gonna hear from them ever again. Like for example, I mentioned the movie that I one of the movies that I loved the most was After Yang. That shit was dumped on the Showtime. It's a fantastic movie that no one
Humans.
got to see. The Humans too is the other movie I also love, and it was dumped down. There's also Eternal Daughter, The Eternal Daughter, que con Tilda Swinton. Great little movie too. It was dumped on VOD. No one freaking saw it, and it's happening. Like there's a lot of these movies that are like I see them. I saw them like in the festival, and like all of them got dumped into VOD, and no one ever saw them. So I think it's becoming kind of a little bit of a problem that they're doing so much that a lot of these movies are falling by the wayside. Which I guess maybe they can afford to do that because maybe it wasn't so expensive the rights for distribution or whatever. But I think they might be stretching themselves a little too thin. That's what I'm kind of worried about now. Because Neon, for example, Neon does a good balance of having like more commercial stuff and more indie stuff, but they're not doing like fucking 10 releases a month. They have like your good 10 movies of the year, or like good. Actually, they make like most 8 movies in a year, and I know this because they have a merch store where you can buy a year in Neon. So right now they have on their store year 5, and it's like 8 movies. So they made 8 movies in that year. So compare that to A24 last year, they made like easily 20 movies last year. You just only heard of like 5 of them.
Well, I will say that I do appreciate a more healthy, robust pipeline. I hate the word pipeline. I shouldn't say pipeline, but a more robust. I guess pipeline's been the word we could call it, because that's 20 films, maybe 5 of them got viewed. But let's be real, maybe only 10 of them are worth given the time of day. But at least those filmmakers got the money to make a film. So I do appreciate. It's like the Netflix catch-22, or it's like I appreciate that they're giving people a shit ton of money to make a shit ton of stuff. But then the problem is you're making a shit ton of stuff. So I don't even like it breaks my brain. You release Mank, and then the next day you release, what was it called? Athena, and like my brain is and then you got 100 movies by the end of the day.
But then, okay, as a filmmaker, do you prefer? I mean, I know what you might answer, but do you prefer having the funding from a studio to make your movie, or have the ability to have at least a decent showcasing of that movie? ¿Me entiendes? Because yeah, it's great to be able to make the movie, but is it worth it if literally no one gets the chance to see it because it gets bogged down in other 720 other movies?
I think that it's like a multifaceted answer, because it depends on what your goal is with the project, right? So let's say it's your first feature and your goal is prove to execs I can make a movie. If it gets buried, at least they'll fucking see the movie and they can get maybe perhaps the second one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, obviously the answer is I'd prefer people see my movie. That'd be amazing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Getting it out is getting it out, no?
Yeah.
See, because I just worry a little bit of that because of, and this more than just A24. If you're getting to the streaming services, we know one filmmaker, Puerto Rican filmmaker, he made a movie for South by Southwest, and then now it's dumped on Peacock the week before Five Nights at Freddy's. So best believe probably no one's gonna see his movie on Peacock. You know what I mean? Like it's just because
of the project, though. He's been able to use that project to get financing for other much bigger projects.
Of course,
I think it's like a game of like.
I'm like,
you're just playing chess. You know what I mean? And I feel like that filmmaker.
You're gonna like, if it was dumped on Crackle, it'd be something different. But Peacock, you have exposure.
No, I think it's gonna get views personally, because
that's what I'm saying.
Peacock also really likes the main actor of the film, so they're gonna. I think they're gonna push it as much as they can.
There's no trailer. This releases in 5 days. There's no trailer. You can't tell me they actually cared too much about marketing this movie when there's no trailer.
There also wasn't a trailer for Twisted Metal until like a week before the movie as well. They released a clip and then the trailer, right? Something like isn't that how they do it? A clip and then a trailer
for Peacock?
Yeah.
I don't know because I can't. I'm just basing it off like Five Nights, and I remember Five Nights had a couple trailers, so that's why I don't know. No, I know. Oh,
what I remember with Twisted Metal was the first thing I saw was the clip when he's in the mall, and then a couple days later the trailer dropped. So I think this is just how people.
The first clip I saw was something about them fighting like in a casino or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, and the clip that they released is a smart clip to release because it cuts. It's them talking, and you think it's just like these people on a date, and then it cuts to a wide. And it shows space, so then it immediately there's your hook. You're like, what the fuck is this movie? So I think they did choose a really great clip for it. But I think it's like, you know, that director in particular understands that it's chess, not checkers. So it's like, okay, maybe
keep a movie type of thing.
He doesn't get a theatrical release, but his next movie certainly will get a theatrical release.
Yeah.
You know, we also have the Puerto Rican filmmaker that we really look up to. That made, you know, Angel Manasolto made Charm City Kings, and that got him to make Blue Beetle, and now he's doing what he wants. And it's a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah.
Charm City Kings should have been in the theater though. Like watching it, you're like, it's like the movie Prey, and you're like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like this should be in the theater where people can clap because you have car chases, you have like amazing shots and sequences, and like. Shit, that really confused me why I went to Max and not into a movie theater.
Because pandemic times, that's the problem.
You guys see the variety? I mean, not variety news. It's all over the news now. Suzanne Summers passed away.
Say what?
What?
Suzanne Sommer. You know Suzanne Summers?
When?
Oh,
she passed away.
Like now?
Yeah, she passed away. Maybe I think the news was spread around like 3 hours ago. She passed away of battle with cancer or whatever.
Oh shit! Damn.
I don't know if you guys ever watched Three's Company.
Yeah,
young for that. Yeah. Three's Company. She was in that wonderful movie. Oh man, she was also the mom in Step by Step. You guys ever see that?
What's that?
Rest in peace, Mrs. Summers.
You know what's a really cool movie? It's a movie that's called
Turn it off there. We're not getting into that.
White Leaves. Have you heard of this film called Falling White Leaves?
Yes, I have heard of it. I believe I'm in the credits of that movie.
You are in the credits. Yeah.
You know what? I was gonna talk shit. I was gonna talk a lot of shit about saying like I haven't even seen a single clip of the movie, even though I contributed. But I was offered to see it, and we just got wrapped up like talking about other shit. So I apologize. You did offer.
But guess what?
To see it.
I've already seen it 800 times.
Really?
Bigger.
Look at that.
I actually haven't actually seen it. It's like a weird process because I wanted to do the subs first. So I'm going like it's like a piecemeal. Like, oh, so that's what happens next. Got it. And then you go to bed and you come back. Oh, that's what happens next. So it's almost like watching it as a mini series. And then I'll sit down and I'll watch it all the way through. But I definitely like this is because I'm working on it. So it's not like you're watching it. But I definitely, yeah, it was cool. I do like that it's the mixed media approach. You know, I'm a big fan of mixed media. So starting off with was that DV or digital of the old times?
It's a digital. It's not DV, but it's digital.
Like a 2003 digital camera.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
That's what it is.
And then is that a shot that you stole that you already had, or one that you actually got?
I shot it on location. I that's the video camera that actually works. So I just stuck an SD card and I shot it.
Perfect.
When will we be able to see this?
Next month, like in 3 weeks. I think 3 weeks.
You're premiering it at a festival?
Yes, in the Festival de Cine Europeo. It's from November 9th to the 16th, I believe.
In Puerto Rico?
Yeah, it's Puerto Rico. And then afterwards, we're just going to submit to festivals and see where it goes. I don't know where it's going, but yeah, just submitting it.
Do you have good luck with like the PR film festivals?
Generally, I do. I just haven't submitted in a while. The last thing I submitted was the other one, Aracruza. I got into the Lusca one. I submitted to the Isabela one. They rejected me, so fuck them. But
Aracruza, forgive me, that was the band.
The two bros, yeah.
What I was gonna tell you is your new project it combines the best of both worlds with Asterion in that one because as you know, my favorite project of yours, it sucks I forgot the name, but is that one. And I feel like this one emotionally falls into the same, not necessarily patterns or formula, but in the same like football field in like the same sporting arena. And it's like, and I feel like it's cool to see you stretching a muscle that's a very well defined muscle, while then forcing yourself to be more of a formalist than you usually are. So it's pretty cool. There's a few shots.
You see, I used a tripod this time. You still a lot.
and then I did love that the car rig wasn't installed perfectly, so you can get the jitter. That shit gives me boners, bro. I love those jitters. It's like so it's like a shot that's like locked off when someone's driving, but it's going like that. Whereas if it were a Hollywood production, it would just stay still. And you would just see the actors moving, and it's like that doesn't have the same vibe. So it's like good job. Also shots of trees in it, so
bunch of trees. Finally got my tree shots, you know.
Actually, so we have a friend, a friend of the show as well, named Hennessy Soto, who always says Alejandro's obsessed with trees, and Alejandro's like, "Go fuck yourself." There's literally a line in this movie where he goes, "Take me to the nearest tree." And I'm just like, he really called it
and the other character's like, well, you can go to Aseo, Flamboyant. I start mentioning all the fucking trees and fuck you.
Which you got to help me with the subtitles. I have no idea how to subtitle.
Yeah, I got you.
I was like literally chat GPTing it y todo, and they're like, we don't understand your Puerto Rican nonsense. I was like, okay.
All right. We have to reel you both back in.
Sorry.
We're looking forward to the project.
Thank you.
We have 2 subjects because sadly we can't be the podcast that goes on for 4 hours anymore. We have to keep.
I mean, come on.
One of them is heavy. I don't know if you guys want to talk about it. Well, the first one, I'll let you wax and wane about the show you want to talk about, Mr. Ghostface.
The show that I wanted. Let me scroll up.
Flag.
Oh yeah, Our Flag Means Death is a lot of fun. Have you guys seen it?
I haven't.
Oh, but sell us on it. What do you love so much about it?
Well, so before I sell you on, I'd like to tell you that there's like a big bias that I have, which is I'm obsessed with the history of pirates, and this show very much is obsessed with taking it and in the fun way, just like spitting in its face and being like that. Who gives a shit? It's a lot of fun. Revisionist pirate history. It's
Director. Who's the director?
Doesn't matter.
There's multiple, right? It's a showrunner type of show.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't matter.
I thought the show was created by
It's created by David Jenkins and Taika Waititi. I believe helped out a little bit, but it's a predominantly like David Jenkins production. Where Taika is still one of the actors. And how can I put it? It's like a workplace comedy, but the workplace is a pirate. As the high seas where you're murdering people. So like there's just like a lot of it's you have great juxtapositions of like today we're gonna go to a fancy ball, and then by the end of the episode the whole ship is burning down and people's like eyeballs are getting gouged out. So it's like it's what if pirates, were still as terrible as they were, but what if they were just really nice and just really chill? And that's kind of how the show portrays them, that like Blackbeard is just like the chillest dude ever, even though he kills babies. He's just like, what's up, dude? One thing I really enjoy about it that I don't think should ever be a selling point usually, but in this case it does it in a way that's pretty I don't know if unique is the right word, just the way it should be done. And it's the way that it portrays like love, that it's like two dudes will fall in love on the ship. And then there's never, any other filmmaker, two dudes fall in love with a ship, there's going to be a scene where a character's like, I don't know if I can see you the same way. Oh my God. And then by the end they hug because gay people aren't normal, apparently, according to these people. But this is so normalized that two dudes fall in love. And there's never ever once a comment about that it's two dudes falling in love. Like, oh, that's fantastic. Can you guys keep the fucking down to a minimum? And it's really, really enjoy it.
It's a huge cast. Let me tell you,
cast, and they have cameos. They had what's homegirl from Good Will Hunting, Minnie Driver. Minnie Driver played Anne Bonny, who's one of like the most vicious pirates in the history of pirates. She played it for an episode, and you're like, oh, cool, dope. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. And again, workplace comedy, but the workplace is pillaging.
Rise Darby, Taika Waititi, Will Arnett, Ewan Bremer, Nat Faxon.
Yeah, people just pop in and out. But the main cast, it's good. It's good. It's not particularly too gory. It's a lot more of a implied gore. So if any of the audience is squeamish, don't worry. It's implied gore. It's like the difference between Saw 1 and Saw 2. You know what I mean? Like this. Saw 1, you just see his face as he's sawing. Saw 2, they have a close up of a bone sticking out. It's just very different. Anyway, it's just a lot of fun. And I don't know if you guys are one of those folks that like, I want to support Boricua artists, but there's a Boricua artist in the film named Vico Ortiz. In the show. And they play a really, really dope pirate who's fantastic with the knives. And they were practicing with the knives in between seasons, and you can see that they're like, it's pretty cool. And what's even cooler is that this person has been obsessed with pirates for most of their life, to the point where I remember talking to them in like maybe 2014, just like about pirates, and then them talking to other people about pirates. Like they're just a pirate lover. So to see somebody's childhood dream come true in front of your eyes is like a beautiful thing. That it's like this person dressed up as a pirate for Halloween and now is playing a pirate. That's beautiful. So yeah, watch it. It's feel good show of the summer.
Feel good show with baby killing and eye while plucking.
Yep.
It's implied baby killing and implied eye gouging.
All right, guys. I don't really know what's going on, but it is something I'm like, it's currently going on right now. We're seeing.
No, we're not talking about that.
We're not talking about that at all.
No, why? No.
No, we don't have to pick a side, but
no. Let's move on. Definitely. No, we're not talking about that.
I thought we could talk about anything on this show.
We can talk about anything.
No,
we can talk about anything on the show.
Because it's
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Nuanced situation that none of us have degrees for.
Exactly. I don't want to talk about the political, agendas behind it, but there's things in the media that I'm just like on such a wide spectrum of like statements, like blind statements that are being made that I'm just like flabbergasted that you would even have the testicles or the vaginal lips to like even post some shit like that.
I've seen
like,
some folks that I'm like,
what the
looked
like
up to
what?
you. What are you talking about?
Like what the fuck? You know what I mean? But then on the other side of the spectrum, I'm also seeing like, oh, dude, even by making like a non-incendiary statement, there are people there being.
That's
Like,
what I was saying. We should just like
literally, people are being thrown out
Star Wars
of
instead.
their jobs. Like, the division over the subject is like extremely. Oof, it's
What's
rough,
your
dude.
background?
Me?
Yeah.
Background. I'm Puerto Rican and Catholic.
I hate you.
Anyways,
what is your background though? What is that?
It's just a generic background. Why are you segueing? What the
Right? Don't let him. Don't let him. Go off, King. Go off. What you talk all you want to talk about?
No, I just really just want to touch on like how extreme some opinions are. You know what I mean? And some of them are extremely gross, and I think those people need to be like held accountable for the things that they put out there. But I think like the division, sowing more and more division is just fucking insane.
Scary.
It's very, very. Huh?
There's a rise in a lot of anti-Semitic attacks and
dude, like,
and Islamophobic attacks. It's just
it's like it's blind. It's like straight up like blind, like picking sides. Like if we were talking about like the Mets and the Yankees, like what the fuck?
I live in a predominantly like Israeli neighborhood, and it's like a neighborhood where there's always like kids outside playing. It's just like it's like a real nice vibe. And this past week, it's like I see nobody outside. It's like a stark night and day difference. To just see, just like there's no kids on the street anymore for a little bit. So it's everyone is terrified, rightfully so. It's a terrifying time.
Yeah, that's crazy. And honestly, like I think everybody should just be in solidarity with victims. You know what I mean? Like there's people that are being dragged into this conflict. Have absolutely jack shit to do with this. You know what I mean? And there's innocent lives at stakes that on both ends that just it's crazy, dude. I think those are the real people that people need to be in solidarity with. And nothing. That's the last topic of the day.
Heavy, man.
We're in the green room. I want to talk to you guys about something on the green room.
Okay. All right. Tell everybody where they can find
you. Usually in hell, like the third or fourth layer. If it's a good day, the fifth layer of hell. On Instagram, Jordan Santacana. Follow me there. I'm not really posting anything because, for obvious reasons, I was doing this thing where I was doing one horror movie a day, but I think that the news is enough of horror movies, so I'm not posting anything for a while. But follow me there if you want.
How about a certain project you had? Are we gonna see a glimpse of that anytime soon? Anywhere? Entering anywhere?
I have a project I'm really excited for called Trapo Sucio Mofongo Western. And it's a project that Alejandro edited as well. It's something I wrote and directed, and it's just kind of like this battle cry against colonization while being, you can call it blood-soaked battle cry against colonization. That's a better way of putting it. Very maximalist, which was fun to get a minimalist editor to edit a maximalist film. And I think it reminded me of like, the Daniels, how one of them is like this weird guy that's like hot dog fingers. And the other guy's this like really soft-spoken dude that's like in a breakup scene in front of a laundromat. So it's like a good mix. And I feel like Alejandro and I had that good mix where like I may be going too big. And he's like, hey, you're going too big. Let's reel it down a little bit. Or I'm being like, hey, you're going too low. Let's give it some cocaine. You know what I mean? But I'm really excited. We've applied to a few festivals. And once we get into festivals, I don't know if I got in.
Doesn't matter though, but you're putting your shit out there. You're trying. God damn it.
I'm trying. Yeah. The people that have seen it really like it. I've only gotten one bad review, and that was nice job, which everyone knows means 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10. So if that's my worst review, then I think that gives us like a 90. We'll go with a 90 on Metacritic. 85, 70, 60, 40.
10, 0, negative 10.
No, I'm the first negative on Rotten Tomatoes. And
I was about to tell you,
You know
now,
that'd be dope.
Negatives.
That'd be dope.
I would be impressed if I made a movie so bad that it got.
You get negative.
I would be
Right.
impressed.
Hey, what is it? There's no such thing as bad press.
True.
That movie would make so much money.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, movie will come out soon. I'll let you guys know with a much better thing. I might even convince them to let me play the trailer on the actual broadcast. And maybe I can press a button, and if somebody's saying some shit I don't like, I press a button and it interrupts them with the whole trailer.
Nice.
I
like it.
Dope.
That'd be dope.
I enjoy Pete's Dragon over Green Knight, and I just press the button.
Boom. Yeah.
Both are dope. Both are dope. I don't know why I said that. I like both. They're both great.
Let us know where you can find me.
You can find me here talking about Star Wars and not current world events.
Both incendiary at one point, I guess.
Wait a second.
True. You know what? Fair. That's fair. Star Wars. It's kind of incendiary sometimes. You know, regarding the fact.
You could talk about it through the lens of Star Wars, like Naboo or something.
Yeah, exactly.
What the hell? What? All right, never mind. We're not going down that road. All right.
That's weird. People make art these days, and it's like the most obvious on the nose shit. Like,
yeah.
Like, oh, I get it. You read a Wikipedia article or a tweet, and now you're making a movie about how you realized that women deserve rights. Congratulations, I'm proud of you.
You did it.
You did it. You learned it at 45.
I know, where can we find you?
You can find me. You can find me over there. Cinema Podcast. Cinemapodcast.com. I'm going to start putting up the reviews of the stuff that I saw in New York because that's the only thing I'm missing. I didn't get a chance to review them over there, but I'm gonna be either jotting them down or I might do a video encompassing all the movies that I saw. So look out for that. And my movie's coming in November, and then afterwards I'll do the same thing. Festival run. We'll see where that goes.
Are you still doing the anime podcast?
I do it with Casey. It's not mine, but I do it. So with Casey, Comics, Anime, Film, Entertainment, Cafe, which is coffee in Spanish. We just do talk about anime stuff. So we did. No, I don't drink coffee. You know what? That could be a good gimmick. I told him to kind of branch out and try to find coffee brands because it's so obvious.
You're trying.
True, exactly. You should do something like that. I should pitch him that, but no, we don't do that yet. So we just talk about anime. We're talking about Jujutsu. Yeah, we're just talking about Jujutsu. Yeah, so yeah.
You have any planned interviews coming up in the future?
So I want to interview Rey Figueroa, the director of Eras una Vez, because he told me he wanted me to interview him. We just haven't set a date because I just got here from New York. So hopefully in the coming days. Oh, there's also the Luzca Film Festival, which I'm going to try to apply to cover it. So we'll see if I get to cover it. And I'll let you guys know if I cover it. It's going to be this weekend. I'm going to try to cover it. So
let's
talk about that.
Try to interview Chris for his movie.
True. That could be a good idea. I don't know him. Do you know him? I don't know.
Not that well, bro, but you can hit him up. It's Instagram. He's nice.
True. Okay, I'll throw them.
And you can find me here with these group of misfits. Every once in a while, we're trying to remain a little bit more
on task.
A little bit more frequent than we used to. So we'll be back.
Because props to you. You've actually committed to that. It's been 3 episodes sort of in a row, every week.
A chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So we're trying to all.
That weakest link left half an hour ago. So we're all good right now.
I can't confirm that. But anyway, it's a group effort. I can have conversations by myself. So as long as we can all sign on here and give our opinions on things, varieties of spice of life.
So next episode is dedicated 3 hours to Armageddon. Mark it down, guys.
Armageddon. Do you really have the intestinal fortitude to talk about Armageddon?
Of course he does. Of course he does.
3 solid hours.
Wait. If you get Hennessy Soto, Alejandro Orengo.
I can't force Hennessy to be on the show. Obviously, his curfew is at 10 p.m. If you're listening to this, you're a grown man. There's no reason why you should be going to bed at 9 p.m. Okay?
If you say the words Michael Bay, he will be there. I think Alejandro can attest to this. Just like
he would be there.
I'll be there. If you say trees, Alejandro will be there.
True. Just any trees.
Any trees. Guess what? Armageddon doesn't have any trees. I'm so sorry. Actually, in Central Park, there's like a shot.
Yeah, there is a shot when they're like chilling in Central Park. You're right.
Of course, you remember the.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Green room.